Excuse me.
Cringe.
I don't really spend a lot of time on the internet.
Oh! 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 Ma'am.
When you're getting hosed down and Chantal is playing for the third time that day in the background, that is the internet. When you are cooking and you're tweeting, I'm listening while making dinner, that is the internet. When you are laying in bed listening to Chantal on your TV and rewatching the Cuba Rage, wait for it, that is the internet. Your whole life is the internet, which is fine if it was a job you were good at and not just a cloud-chasing leech. We see your new friends tagging you in every post they make. Every time there's a post, look what Strawberry Douche said. You are tag number 6 of 968. Yeah, but stop lying to yourself and stop lying to the American people. Friends tagging you in every post they make. Every time there's a post, look what Strawberry Douche said. You are tag number 6 of 968. Yeah, but stop lying to yourself and stop lying to the American people.
I don't really spend a lot of time on the internet.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Tis I, the GG. Tis Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. Happy day after 420. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all had a lovely holiday yesterday. For those of you who partake, for the rest of you, I hope you all had a Monday, and for some of you, I hope you had the Monday you deserve. How's everyone doing this evening? I was gonna try to go live yesterday. Wait, did I go live yesterday? Oh, I did go live yesterday, didn't I? Wait, was I live yesterday or Sunday? What fucking day was I live? Was the Zachary stream yesterday or Sunday? Oh my, all these days roll into one. Anyway, I was about to say I was going to go live yesterday and did it, but I did go live last night. Ay, Dios mío. Que lástima. I'm losing my fucking mind. Anywho, I was going to go live again, I think is what it was, and then I decided to wait for today. So anywho, happy Tuesday. April's almost over. It's almost Christmas. I can't take it anymore. Can you guys hear me okay? Everything sounds normal.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. We're getting ready for a bing bong extravaganza today. I did go live yesterday. Do you remember me, Gigi? Earthy, I remember you always. We're gonna have a bing bong extravaganza today. I read these court documents and oh my goodness, I don't know what that man is thinking. As insane, bless her heart, as Hecate is, I feel like this is probably gonna end up blowing up in his face spectacularly. And I'll tell you why as we read through the documentations. I did redact everything. Hopefully I did. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. So yes, I'm grifting. I've got my grift stiff, my grift shit going across the bottom of the screen. Feel free to donate if you want. Dexter put me in the poorhouse, but I spent all afternoon on my free time redacting this nonsense, setting up a new scene for OBS. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to openly grift shamelessly. If motherfuckers can literally say, give me money for medical information or give me money to sit here in a ratty fucking wig, I feel like I could say, if you have a dime to spare and want to help with the Dexter Veterinary Foundation and you appreciate the actual effort I put into this channel, feel free to donate at one of the methods or vehicles scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And if not, just like the video. I'll take a like as well. We also have memberships. Become a fruit fly if you're fucking bored. I'm gonna stream probably Thursday for all fruit flies and diet fruit flies. Probably do a members only open panel, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of fruit flies, thank you so much, Rose, Fall, Thorn, Remain, for becoming a diet fruit fly. I don't know if you became one or rejoined this plugin that I use. Doesn't actually tell me the fucking difference. But here we are today. Potato, potato,
Bing,
bing,
bong.
bong, bing, bong. So, the Hussy has runneth over. And he's suing. He's got multiple lawsuits going again. We're not going to cover one of them because my life has been chuff-free for a minute, and I'm enjoying it that way, and I really don't want to invite that, what do they lady call it on the, whatchamacallit? What did she call it on the, damn it, wife swap, the dark-sided? I don't want to invite the dark-sided back in, so we're going to focus on only one lawsuit, which is the lawsuit between, Hussy and Miss Hecate Azria. Just pennies a day will help Gigi's bunghole. Fuck my bunghole. We need to help Dexter, who's, by the way, is doing really good today, so thank you. For those of you who keep asking, he's doing lovely. He's on his antibiotics for his UTI, and his blood and everything's coming back great. Dusty, thank you for the super chat. Your channel dry. Hee-ha! I don't know how she does hee-ha, but thank you for the super chat. And April, leave it to Bubby. Drag them for us. There'll be really no dragging today. We're just going to read these court documentationaries, and I just have a lot of questions, and I'm curious what the legal strategy is going to be, because as we know, this is not Hussy's first go-around in court, right? This is not Hussy's first rodeo in the court. However, things are a lot different this time around, so I was kind of surprised to see some of the things that were being claimed in this document that were claimed in prior lawsuits that I don't feel are relevant anymore or factual. So I'm curious to see. Now, listen, let's do a poll. I love a good fucking poll. Let's do a poll. Okay. Who is gonna win? Now, here's the thing, though. I don't think Hecate is gonna win. Let me tell you why. I don't think she's going to bother showing up because she's in Canada, and she's probably going to be like, fuck it, what's the point of me showing up? Go ahead, do a judgment against me. Good luck trying to get money from me from another country. I think that's the way it's going to go. However, if she does appear, I hope she gets a fucking lawyer because fucking bing bong.
Bing bong.
I don't think she's should be representing herself. However, if she does appear, there's so many questions that need to be asked based on this filing alone that I'm kind of hoping she does, because I'd like to see how the legal strategy is going to be on the plaintiff's side of things. But I guess we'll find out. Your peanut allergy is next. Can you pimp me out? Not for $2, bitch. For $200, maybe. Just kidding. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Stop it before I accuse you of being a trafficker. All right. So we're going to go through the documentations, and then we're going to go through I'm going to read it all to you. I'm going to have it on a big screen, but I'm going to read it all to you. I got it all in front of me. I'm relaxed. I got my coffee in my Georgia Aquarium mug. Delicious. And then we're going to go over the evidence documents, which also gave me a mini stroke, a TIA, because I felt like the same shit was repeated over and over again. I didn't understand it at all. So we're gonna go through all of that, and then we're gonna see how it goes. So the poll is going. I can't see it for some fucking reason. Or is it? Oh, I gotta expand it now. So far, Hecate's in the lead 6-2. Let me give you my preliminary. What I think is going to happen based on what I've read, what I know, and what I've seen. There's been defamation. Anybody listen, hate Hussy all you want. I know Hussy's trying to blame her for being hated. And I'm like, no, I don't think anybody who hates Hussy hates him for the things that Hecate has said. They hate him because, in my opinion, he's shown himself to just not be a very nice person. He's a horrible human being. But there has been defamation. Now, the question is damages. I believe that if this goes to trial and Hecate does appear, I believe that there will be a defamation judgment in his favor. I think that he has been defamed. I mean, just the stuff that she says about people is fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. However, I will be shocked if there are any kind of damages, because, like I said, there are things I read in this document that just don't make sense to me. Plus, knowing what I know about him from a private aspect and what the actual motivations are, and he can argue that all day long. I've got the tweets, I've got the text messages. When you're assigning dollar signs to every tweet or stream title, that tells me you're not as affected as you want the public or the courts to believe. But again, there was defamation. I don't think that can be argued. Will there be any kind of damages? I will be absolutely shocked if there will be. But I'll discuss that as we go along. This is Community in Court, and I am your host, Judge Wapner Jr., also known as Judge Whopper, because I'm a fatty. By the way, I was talking about Burger King the other day, not to veer off. My blinds are down. I don't know what the hell he's barking at. I was just thinking the other day, I haven't had a Whopper in so long. I want one so bad, but I'm not going to do it. But I don't know where out of the blue, like I thought I was pregnant for a hot second. I was like, am I pregnant? Why do I want a Whopper? I call your channel is next, and he told me his tubes are tied, so I have nothing to worry about. But holy shit, out of the blue, just Whopper cravings. Anywho, all right, who's ready to do this? I am. Thank you for the super chat, Lisa. Take it or leave it. All right, here we go. Look at me, I'm in a little circle. How fucking cute is that? Look at that. We got the PTV logo. For those of you who remember, PTV is Pegs TV. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. This fucking volume keeps decreasing on its own. Ooh, I'm getting so mad I could spit. I could spit bologna and meatloaf. That's how mad I'm getting right now. Oh, and I do miss Olap. Olap's still around. Olap's on her channel. Go subscribe to Olap. Olap's doing just her own content. For those of you who don't know, certain poverty pigs, of course, threatened to dox her or whatever, and she just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. I don't fucking blame her for wanting to deal with it, especially because she was so close to these people, and to see the way they turned on her over fucking nonsense. Like, I don't blame Olap for stepping back and just... And Olap's hysterical. Like, Olap, I think, is funnier way outside of this space. So, Olap is still around. Last I checked, a couple days ago, Olap was uploading, I would say... reliably, I guess is a good word. So go subscribe to Olap. If there's a mod in the chat who wants to put Olap in the chat, please feel free to do so. But Olap is around. I think Olap's just removed herself from GorlWorld because, you know, people are trash. And it's like, why, if making fun of people or having a laugh at them is going to lead you to getting doxxed because your fucking people you deal with are such pussies that they have to silence you to detract you, it's just not fun anymore. It's just not fucking fun anymore. So it's better that she walked away. But go check out Olap. We love to see her on her channel. Okay, so Miss Hussy, Loudmouth Hussy, or whatever, he's had like 25 channels at this point. But not 25, but he's had a good amount of channels. He's now Loudmouth Hussy. Some of you may know him as Miss Glory Glory, The Hussy Lounge, Loudmouth Hussy. He's had a few different channels, Sophia something. He's had so many different channels, I've lost track. Now he's Loudmouth Hussy. He is suing in the state of New York, which is interesting because I was always told that you need to sue the person in the region or state that they are in because it is very difficult to win a court case. So what some lawyers try to do is they'll try to argue, well, because it's the internet, I can sue you from my state. But based on attorney conversations I've had, both with friends and prior consultations, a lot of judges don't always go for that. So will this even get off the ground? I don't know. The judge may say to them, you need to go sue her in Canada because she lives there. Like, you need to go by her jurisdiction. But who knows? New York might be a different animal. But I know with Florida, I was told it's possible to do that. But the majority of time, judges want you filing in the region where the person lives. So we'll see how that piece of this goes, because he's got one here and he's got one in Canada, he's got one in a different state. So he's filed this in Nueva York, in New York, concrete jungles where the dreams are made of. And yeah, let's go through it. This is the complaint. Obviously, I've blocked out a bunch of shit like names, full addresses. If I missed anything, sorry. Everyone knows these bitches' names anyway, but it is what it is. So, okay. So this is the summons and the complaint. I'm not really going to read all this, but it's pretty much just saying they're letting her know, hey, you've got 20 days after you receive this summons to respond to this. If you don't appear, respond, you are going to lose by default, and there will be a judgment against you by default. So this is pretty much saying, if you don't show up to this, you're going to get a default against you. Now, Hussy, of course, is probably rubbing his hands, but again, default doesn't mean anything unless you can really prove that you have lost a ton of money, which is going to be the opposite in Hussy's case. But then there's the conversation about, well, technically it's not his channel, which in my opinion, it makes it worse. And if Hecate does show up to this thing and Discovery is going to be not only insane, but I predict dangerous for the plaintiff because the plaintiff is on benefits. And there is a cap as to how much the plaintiff can make in the state of New York. And if it's found that the plaintiff has exceeded that cap, he will begin losing benefits. If he has exceeded that cap and he has not reported that, he will be found guilty of fraud. Like there could be fraud. So I don't know what he's doing because he's finally found an audience here and he's making better money than he ever has in years. So it's going to be very hard for him to say, I'm losing money now. And that's exactly what this complaint says, that he's losing money. And I'm like, you're not losing money. Go to Playboard. You're making more money than ever. But then they're going to say, well, it's not my channel. Which leads to the next question. So your employers aren't paying you enough. Is it because your employers are stealing from you and they're the ones you should be suing? Or are they paying you just enough so you don't lose benefits? And if that's the case, where are the damages? Because if you're specifically only wanting to be paid your cap as to not lose benefits, where are the damages? And then that leads to another question I have. The defendant, the plaintiff, accepts cash apps. Tiny Tim and his husband cannot take cash apps because Ireland does not use cash app. There's so many things that can come out of this lawsuit that if I were Hussy, what I would have done against Hecate is try to get a restraining order. The fact that he's more successful than he has been in years and is opening himself up to pretty much a financial audit is probably the dumbest thing he could do. Because anything he tries to sell the court, she could throw right back in his face. And if Hecate has half a brain cell, not only will she not want Hussy's financials, she's gonna want the channel owner's financials, dragging him into this debacle because Hussy is an employee, right? So if Hussy's claiming he's losing financials because of Hecate's harassment, I would want to see Tiny Tim's and his husband's financials. I'd want to know how much is the plaintiff sending to Tiny Tim and his husband all day, every month. How much is Tiny Tim and his husband sending back to the plaintiff? And let's not forget, YouTube is an American company. Tiny Tim and his husband have to file taxes in the United States of America. And because Hussy is an employee, are the deductions happening? Because if you're an employee here in the United States of America, your paychecks have deductions, right? Taxes are being taken out. Social Security gets removed. Now, I know people think Hussy can't make money because he's on a disability. That's not true at all. He can make money, but he can't make a lot of money. So if Hecate has half a brain cell, I want your financials. I want the channel owner's financials. I want your Cash App records. I want to see proof that you are sending all of that Cash App money to the channel owner via different means because they don't have Cash App. Oh, I feel like this is going to blow up at the plaintiffs. Now listen, I could be wrong. Hussy could be on the up and up in all of this. Hussy could be sending all these Cash Apps to them. They could be cutting out paychecks. They could be doing the Social Security. They could be doing the Social Security deductions. They could be doing the insurance. All that could be happening. I doubt it, but it could be happening. You don't know. So he got over $400 the other day in Cash App. I mean, if I were Hussy and none of this is on the up and up, I would probably say, you know what, actually, I think on second thought, I'm going to cancel this one and maybe just go for a restraining order instead because let's just read. Some of it's not, the math's not fucking mathing here. Am I on the right page? All right. Shit, where am I? What the hell did I do? Oh, why does it look like that? Hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, maybe that's why. All right. Oh, God, that's ugly. No, I want to do page 2. Oh, for the love of all things holy. What is this nonsense? Hold on. View. How do I, single page? Thank you. Oh, continuous scroll. Yes, please. All right, much better. Thank you. Here we go. So, the plaintiff. Oh, his greed garbage. I mean, let's just get through it. This is not going to work out well for him. I could be wrong, but if I were him, I would just be going for a restraining order because he's making good money now, and he cannot deny that. Can somebody go to Playboard? Actually, I didn't even think about this. Does anybody know how to use Playboard? I'd like to see how many super chats the Loudmouth Hussy channel collected in the last 7 days. The plaintiff, Miss Hussy, buying through his attorney, which we know is Maxwell, but I don't want to put the name on screen, complaining of the defendant, Azria, or as we call her, what is it, Dry Coochie Energy, respectfully alleges as follows. This is an action to recover damages from malicious, coordinated, and dangerous campaign of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and prima facie tort, which to me sounds like a delicious Italian dessert. What are you having for dessert tonight? Prima facie tort with a little bit of whipped cream, orchestrated by the defendant against the plaintiff. Would I say she orchestrated it? No. I think she joined in on already occurring defamation, which I don't think makes a difference because if you repeat defamation, you're still committing defamation. Specifically, this action arises from defendant's active participation in a cross-border cyber harassment network that purposely targets a New York resident and his New York-based business. I have to ask a question here. Outside of Hecate, who is still targeting him? Because on my side, things have been pretty quiet and peaceful, right? And when I looked through the farms, other people seem to have moved on to other topics. So I don't know who else is in this network of campaign cyber harassers, because I couldn't really find anything other than the people he's fighting with, like G-Man, unless he's now gonna associate her with G-Man. But in terms of, I hate saying the bodega, in terms of the bodega, like even Shitter Queen, I did a little peeking today to see if maybe I'm missing something. Even Shitter Queen hasn't said that much about him. Shitter Queen's too busy stealing MFW's content. So I don't know where this cross network of people are, but I'm curious to see what's going to come out on that. While operating from Canada, defendant has intentionally directed her tortious conduct at New York to cause severe financial and reputation harm to the plaintiff within this county. Again, I think the problem by saying reputational harm is I could get 200 people together. Hey, Frank. And I could say, hey, why do you hate Hussy? And I'm pretty sure all 200 will come up with valid reasons that have nothing to do with anything Hecate has said. And let me tell you why. Hecate, take my advice. Now is the time for you to run and get that therapy we have all been recommending you get for a long motherfucking time now. Because you are certifiable. I haven't met a single person outside of like the 35 people who take Hecate seriously who actually listen or believe to the nonsense she spews about Hussy. If I ask the people in this chat, hey, why don't you like Hussy? They have valid reasons. Stephanie will have a valid reason. If Alex and Nikki were here, they'd have great reasons. Yato, Vidal, myself, Belinda. We all have so many reasons as to why we think Hussy is a terrible human being. And none of them will be because of the things that Hecate has said. If Hecate were smart, she would get herself certifiable with a therapist, because the judge would then say, this woman clearly is not well. Sorry, she's not. And there really has been no damage by the words she has said. So sure, she's defaming you, but where is the $50,000 worth of damages? She's not taken seriously by anybody. But he's trying to convince people that Hecate is this force to be reckoned with, when in reality, he has burned so many bridges. He has done so many. AJ Lair, selling medical information, lying about people having STDs, divulging AJ Lair's medical. I mean, the list goes on and on as to why people hate this man. None of it is because of what Hecate says. And I think we can all agree, correct? Okay. On July 14th, 2023, the plaintiff was subjected to a life-threatening swatting incident documented in NYPD complaint report, blah, 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 blah. this isn't true, by the way. I was a little confused when I read this. We're going to go over that complaint because I was excited to finally read the swatting report. I don't know what they're doing here because I read the report and we're going to read it together. That life-threatening swatting incident is not documented in this report. Unless this is you know what? Maybe I should write this report number down. Can somebody hold on? Oh, I should. Where's my pen and paper? I was not prepared. Hold on one second. Let me write this report down because it's gonna be a while before we get to the report because I can't shut my fucking mouth. So what is this? 2023. Because the report that's submitted into evidence is not the swatting report. Now, do I argue that Hussy got swatted? No, not at all. Hussy got swatted. If I'm to believe what he has told people, and we've also heard it, right? There was a knock on the door. I'm not screenshotting because then I'll have to open. Shut up, Kate. I have it written down. There was a knock at the door, and according to Hussy, and we could hear the police in the background, somebody called in and said Hussy had a hostage and had a boom boom, right? You know what a boom boom is, right? I'm not going to say it, a boom boom in the building. That is the definition of a SWAT. People can argue that all they fucking want. A SWAT is when you tell the police that something is happening at a residence or location that's not. But it leads police to believe that civilians are in danger. So they go into that situation prepared to defend themselves and to save lives. So I'm not going to sit here and say he wasn't swatted. Fuck Hussy, but I'm not going to deny the things that are said in this document as being heinous, because some of them are heinous. And I'm not going to say he wasn't swatted. I still to this day will say he was swatted. Defendant, which is Miss Dracucci, acting with malice and intent to harm, publicly mocked this violent emergency, which I don't think that's against the law. I don't think that's an actionable offense to mock it, but okay. Laughing at the risk to plaintiff's life. I don't think that is illegal to do. I think you can laugh at someone being swatted. I don't think that's a suable fucking offense, but okay. And utilize the event to further terrorize the plaintiff, thereby ratifying and encouraging the extreme conduct. I don't know how her laughing terrorized him, but that's what he's going to have to prove in court, I guess. I just think it's outrageous, and I would, if this were my complaint, I would ask that it would be amended, because I think it's very overdramatic Lifetime movie network, because we've heard him go back and forth with Hecate, right? We've heard him say things to Hecate that are like, whoa, because they said things to each other for a while, right? Y'all remember that. Hussy likes to fight with people until Hussy's very familiar with someone, sounds a lot like someone else in gorlworld. Always ready to go low with you until something is said or done, and then it's, I'm calling my attorney, the police, the court. So, in my mind, if you are being violently terrorized by somebody, you never would have gone back and forth with them. Think of me and him, our little situation. It was a tale of two gays, right? I pulled away. Hussy dove head first. It didn't make sense to me, but that's the route he took. So I think it's going to be interesting to say he was terrorized if the defendant were to show some of the things that he said when he went back and forth with her. I don't know how you're going to prove terrorizing there, but again, Belinda and I will be there covering it all for you. We can't wait. This complaint specifically seeks damages for the distinct and separate injuries caused by the defendant's individual act, and that is Ms. Dracucci. Most notably, the severe psychological trauma, reputational damage, and specific economic loss. I don't know where that loss is. Resulting directly from her unique and escalating false accusations of human tea, so whatever, grape, oh shit nuggets, grape, and las drogas. Remember the photo? So listen, I blame Vidal for las drogas, right? So if you guys remember, Hussy took a stupid, unfortunate photo. He was very drunk. The gentleman in the photo was very drunk. And he took a photo, and Vidal was upset with him because they fought about money, I think. And Vidal said something, which she shouldn't have said. And that was the end of that. And I think that what Hecate has done is piggybacked off of that to claim that it's true. So this is obviously defamation. I'm not going to disagree with that. It is complete fucking defamation. It's the damages, though, that I just think he's going to have a real fucking hard time trying to sell people on. I'm looking at his super chats. In the last 7 days, Hussy has made $730. He made 76 today, 65 yesterday. Now, again, Tiny Tim and his husband made that money. So as the defendant, I would want to know how much of that is being sent over to the plaintiff. I'd want to know that, because he never used to make money like this before. And I think another interesting aspect about this case, if I was the defendant, his whole argument is, you are interfering with my ability to make money on YouTube. You shouldn't even be making money on YouTube. The plaintiff has been terminated multiple times. And per YouTube's terms of service, a terminated channel is not allowed to have another channel, whether it's their own channel, another person's channel, and they are not allowed to host another channel. It's in the Google bylaws. Go read them. So that begs the question, how could this plaintiff have lost funds? How could I do damage, if I was Hecate speaking? How could I do damage to somebody
Bing bang.
who shouldn't even be allowed to make money here to begin with? Valid question. How is it damages? Again, I think this opens Hussy up to so much nonsense, so much ridiculousness. He would have been better just filing for a restraining order. Instead, I feel like he opened himself up to a fucking world of nonsense. The guy sees dollar signs and doesn't think shit through. It's Hussy. The defendant has engaged in a pattern of torturous activity designed to destroy the plaintiff's livelihood. The plaintiff is on disability. I would argue destroying his livelihood would be more contacting, and this isn't a dog whistle, I'm explaining what my mind's livelihood destruction would be. Contacting the state, right? The whatever benefits he has, the SSI, because that's his livelihood. Because remember, this isn't his channel. This is Tiny Tim and his husband's channel. So if you feel your livelihood is not up to speed, up to par, and you are making more money than you ever have before, according to Playboard, should the conversation be with Hecate, or should the conversation be with your employers? Why are they not paying you more? Oh, that's right. Because if they pay you too much over the table, you could lose your housing income and any other benefits you get. Which then begs the question, are you getting anything under the table? And Hecate, as the defendant, will have every right to see all of it. The PayPals, the CashApps. I don't think, actually, is CashApp in Ireland too? I know PayPal is not. Is CashApp in Ireland? I don't know. I mean, is PayPal? I'm sorry, backwards. I know CashApp is not. But is Venmo and PayPal? I'm not sure. So, and that's going to be money coming in and out. So Hecate, if things are not being done on the up and up here, not only could Hecate prove that there's no damages involved here, she could prove a whole ass fraud scheme. If they're not doing shit on the up and up, again, I'm not saying that's what's going on. I don't know. They very well could be doing this all correctly. The money could be going to Ireland for all the Cash Apps, the Venmos, the PayPals, and those and Tiny Tim and his husband could be cutting paychecks. They could be doing deductions. They could be filing the correct tax forms. Because remember, employers have to file tax forms, right? If Hussy is their employee, those two may end up getting wrangled into this. And I don't think they realize that. They could end up being brought into a whole ass New York court case that could end up evolving into a tax case. Doing this for somebody else has to be the dumbest shit ever. It's bad enough that Tiny Tim has this blind loyalty, but to convince his husband to potentially put shit at risk like this, abso-fucking-lutely not. My husband would look at me like I was crazy, but good news, I would never ask my husband to do such dumb shit to begin with. But again, That's assuming things are not on the up and up. I guess we'll find out. Because I do feel like Hecate will show up just now because she's probably sitting there going, oh shit, good point, good point, good point. Furthermore, defendant has engaged in a pattern of tortious activity designed to destroy the plaintiff's livelihood. The pattern includes targeted interference with plaintiff's business expectancies. How? His view growth rate right now? You know what? Actually, can I just let me put this on screen. Hold on. How do I get this up quick? Oh, fuck me. Hold on. Look at his view growth rate. He has skyrocketed. How is he going to justify this? Other than saying it's not my channel, which then brings up the you're not allowed to be there argument. And then the question is, well, then you need to take up your damage issue with Tiny Tim and his husband because they're not paying you what you're worth. Clearly, Hecate's words have not affected your ability to make money. You're making more money for Tiny Tim and his husband than you ever made for yourself. When are you going to get paid what you feel you deserve? Oh, but then that brings up the benefits question. Hussy, this was so fucking stupid. I mean, I cannot believe you're opening yourself to this. Maybe he's hoping she's not going to show up, or he's hoping she's going to just crumble and ask for a a settlement, which we all know she's not going to do. The only hope he has is that she doesn't show up. But if she actually files discovery on him, Tiny Tim's husband, and can prove that he's making more than he should, not only does she win the damages portion, she now has ammunition to say this guy's committing fucking fraud in the state of New York. And I'm sure the judge is going to love that one. Coming into my courtroom, perjuring yourself and lying. And not only that, committing benefits fraud. Again, that's just, I don't know if that's what's going on here. I hope for Tiny Tim's sake, I hope for Tiny Tim's husband's sake that those two have a nice little employer business thing going on. LLC, checks being cut, expenses being documented, Hussy getting a paycheck, the paycheck not exceeding the cap. I hope that Hussy's cash apps are going right back to Ireland's. I hope he's not keeping any of it, because if he is, I gotta take a sip of coffee. Dry coochie energy. April, she could actually, if I were her, I'd probably show the fuck up for all of this. But if Hussy is doing this correctly, she's fucked. But I still don't think he's going to get damages because the numbers don't fucking lie. The numbers don't lie. His channel, his last 7 days, $730. $65, $67, and he deletes a lot of stuff too. So a lot of stuff's not even like showing up. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Anywho. Okay. So the plaintiff wants relief, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Plaintiff Hussy is a resident of New York. And this part, I'm sorry, is a professional digital content creator. Literally, the dude who doesn't even know how to take a screenshot and has to hold his dirty phone up to the fucking iMac camera to say, do you guys see this? Can you see this? While Keldoge, was it Keldoge or was it, I think it was Keldoge screaming, no, we can't. No, we can't. See, I watch people quietly sometimes. People think he doesn't support anybody. No, I do. But I just don't always like to go in chats because as soon as I show up in a chat, it becomes an international fucking affair. But he was holding up a screenshot the other day. And can you see this? And Keldoge was screaming, no, we can't. I think it was Keldoge. It might have been Wody, but I think it was Keldoge. It was one of those. It was one of those assholes. Defendant is upon information and belief, because we don't trust her, that dry coochie energy. She's a resident of someplace in Canada. We're going to pass on that. I think number 10 is them trying to justify why this lawsuit is taking place in New York. Was it WOT? Okay, it was one of them. It was one of them. See, but I watch bitches. I watched Little Geldosh earlier today. I watch bitches. I just like to stay quiet. I know people think I'm selfish and don't watch motherfuckers. I do. I'm making sure Dexter's not around me while I back up a bit. Hold on. By the way, how's my picture? My speed is amazing. I got upgraded today officially. Oh my god. Thank you, Zachary Michael, for cursing my internet. It led me to faster internet and a great discount. Okay. So, defendants' contacts with New York are not based merely on plaintiff's residence, but on defendants' own suit-related conduct expressly aimed at this forum, specifically the defendant. Here's a bunch of things. A lot of this gets repetitive. I don't know why. A lot of this stuff gets stated over and over and over again. Defendant utilized interactive commercial platforms like GoFundMe to launch a fundraising campaign expressly titled Help Azria Break the Hussy's Real Name, purposefully soliciting funds to finance her harassment of a New York business. Now, could Hecate say that was parody? I think she can. Because in the GoFundMe, she asked them to help fund her blow habit. I fucking can't. I wish she didn't fucking lose her mind, because boy does she make me fucking laugh. I didn't know any of this. Apparently, I've been so wrapped up with Dexter and my mom and everything. Apparently I've missed a lot. She did a GoFundMe where she literally was like, I can go for days on some good blow or something. I forget how she wrote it. It's in here somewhere. And she literally wanted people... she really wanted people... Shut up, Kate. She wanted people to literally finance her blow. So, could she go back down and say that was parody? Clearly, it was parody because I'm asking for blow. And also, define the word break. That's not defamation. I don't know how that makes sense in this document, because maybe that's harassment, that's restraining order related, and I guess he is asking for one, so I guess maybe, but that's really not to help me break somebody is not defamation. But again, she might be able to argue that's parody. I don't fucking know. Frankly, I don't care. She can do what she wants. She explicitly targeted plaintiffs' lawful activities in New York to frame them as crimes, broadcasting false statements to a global audience that plaintiff illegally films in New York bars without a license. Now, that is absolutely correct. It is not illegal to film in a bar. That's just, I don't know why she said this. She's apparently said it on multiple fucking occasions. Bars are private businesses. While it's not illegal to film in a bar, it's usually prohibited, which is why the owner or the bouncers have the rights to kick you out of the bar, which we've seen Hussy get kicked out of a few bars, right? Bless his heart. So it is not illegal to film in a New York bar. Like, y'all need to stop giving this man fucking gifts. A simple Google search would have told you that. But Hecate's, I think Hecate thinks because she's in Canada, she's untouchable, and maybe she is. Maybe Hussy will get a big damage, a big, not a reward, judgment against her. Maybe he will. But maybe she thinks, well, I'm in Canada, fuck you, you're never going to see it. I don't know how garnishing works cross-border. I don't know how that works, but just stop saying dumb shit, Google. It's prohibited, not illegal. Directly harassed and disparaged plaintiff's New York-based legal counsel. So if you guys remember, she went on this fucking stream where she was calling Maxwell non-fucking stop like a lunatic, utilizing interstate communications to actively impede a New York resident's access to the court. So intimidation, I think, is what they're trying to do here, is say that she was trying to intimidate the attorney, Maxwell, from taking the case. So again, not defamation, probably more for the restraining order request. Plaintiff's cause of action, including defamation, arise directly from these whatever. Okay. Second, the defendant committed intentional tortious acts without the state causing severe injury to person and property within the state. I don't know what the fuck that means. Defendant expressly aimed her conduct at New York. I don't know. Expected her acts to have consequences in this state and derive substantial revenue from international commerce via her monetized media platforms. We need to define substantial revenue, because last I heard, bless her heart, she gets like 40 to 60 people watching her streams. And if he's getting 200, 300, 400 people now, and he's going to argue that her revenue is substantial, good luck with the damages claim. Because if I'm the judge, I'm going to be like, wait a minute. So her revenue is substantial with 40 people in it. But yours is not, even though you have more people in your chat than you've ever had before. Because let's remember, a lot of these claims were made in prior lawsuits. But in prior lawsuits in court proceedings, they were factual. Before he found Carrie and dug his heels into Carrie's audience, and she lost her audience, he wasn't getting shit in his audience. He was getting under 100 in every stream. There were no super chats. Super were barely rolling in. Memberships were barely rolling in. And he could argue that it's because of the defamation. To continue saying that now doesn't make sense, especially when someone in the chat just told me he made hundreds the other day in his Cash Apps. And when you watch clips of him, he's always like, thank you for the generous Cash App, boo-boo. Thank you for the generous... So I don't know how he's going to reuse these arguments, because these arguments are no longer fucking valid. You are making more money than I make. Of course, if I were unemployed and had a housekeeper and did nothing all day but scratch my ass, I'd probably stream all day too, and I could probably do a lot more than I do here, but, you know, I pay taxes, so you don't have to. Bless your heart. But he makes more money than I do at this point. And I actually put fucking effort into my shit, but I can't do this all day long like he does. It's not fucking feasible in my life. So I don't know how he's using these arguments again. These arguments to me are opening a door for him to get into so much trouble. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't. And I think he's going to say, well, it's Tiny Tim and the husband getting the money. And she's going to come at you and say, Discovery, show me. Bitch, show it. You know, let's get some. I got to take a sip. Let's get some Bridget.
Bitch, show it. Show it. Show it. Show the fucking screenshots.
And he's got a $400 tier. Does he have any members? That's a question Hecate might ask. Show me your members list. Do you have imagine in Discovery it comes out that he has 5 $400 members. That right there alone. And I just have a hard time believing that he's raking in thousands of dollars every month, and he's saying, Tiny Tim, boo-boo, you and your husband can keep 90% of it. Just pay me the bare minimum so I don't lose benefits. Does anybody believe that's happening? Does anybody believe that's happening? That he's letting Tiny Tim and his husband take the majority of his AdSense and Cash Apps and donations? I don't believe that. Which means he needs to be very careful, because if that's true, and he's not, and he's keeping the majority of it, that's gonna open up to so many. Oh my goodness, it's just gonna be so fucking bad, so fucking bad. And I don't know why he's not thinking of this. I don't know even why I'm thinking of it. I should just let him go forward, which he probably will anyway, because he's very arrogant. But I'm excited to see what happens. What else happens? Okay, the plaintiff, Senora Hussy, is a digital content creator. I don't know if the content is in the room with us, but he's a digital content creator on social media and streaming platforms such as Twitter, X. He never is on Twitter or X anymore, unless he's got a Twitter I don't know about. Twitch, I heard he abandoned that as well, and YouTube. Again, this seems to be a copy and paste from a previous lawsuit. Why was this not amended to say that you primarily work on YouTube? Correct me if I'm wrong, and I should have did the research, but nobody ever talks about his Twitch anymore. And I think I still follow him on Twitter for some god-awful reason. He never shows up in my feed anymore. Why hasn't this been amended to say YouTube only? And another thing I found interesting in all of this, not one time does he state in this complaint that he is not the rightful owner of this channel. And to me, that's a big red flag. If I were Hussy, one of the first things in this complaint should have been, I am a YouTube content creator. I work for a creator out of Ireland who owns a YouTube channel. I host a show on his channel. Hussy's presenting this as this is his channel. This is all his revenue. And none of that's not true. And if I were a judge, I would wonder why that was being misrepresented. Is that because you think it's going to help me lead to the 50,000 judgment easily? Because it's a big game changer when you say, I am a host on a channel out of Ireland. The Ireland owner collects all the money and pays me a dividend from that. That doesn't sound as damaging, does it? Yikes. I was sitting here in disbelief. I'm like, he doesn't ever mention this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Don't you think that should be in the complaint, that he's not the owner of that channel? Which, again, brings up the point that Hecate can make. You don't have damages because you are circumventing YouTube's terms of service. So you're on benefits on a platform making money that you shouldn't even be making money on. I would have scrapped all this and just said, can I get a restraining order instead? But, you know, here we are today. The plaintiff uses these audiences to make comedy sketches, videos, and live streams, for which he receives monetary donations, paid subscriptions, and super chats from his fans and digital admirers. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The plaintiff's boss, the owner of the channel, receives monetary donations, paid subscriptions, and super chats. Did you sign this? I mean, yeah, I know you did because I read it already, but what the fuck were you thinking? I don't know if this counts as perjury, but I feel like it does. You don't own that channel. You don't collect any of that. Tiny Tim's husband owns it. Tiny Tim's husband is supposed to be collecting it all. Not you. What are you going to do if that comes out and the judge is like, whoa, that's a game changer. Are you purposefully misrepresenting your position here to gain what? Damages? If anybody should be suing Hecate, perhaps it should be the owner of the channel, since he's your boss. I don't know. Plaintiff's business property. It's not plaintiff's business property. It's Tiny Tim's husband's business property. Consists of his standing on streaming platforms and his ability to generate revenue through live broadcasts. You mean generate his boss revenue, right? Just saying. The defendant has engaged in a distinct, malicious, and ongoing campaign specifically designed to destroy plaintiff's reputation. Again, I don't argue that Hecate has said some of the most reckless fucking shit about everybody. I just ignore her. At this point, I'm like, you know what, whatever. Because when you realize it's like she's not, no one's taking her seriously, just fuck it. It's a couple of the rejects who are only there out of loyalty from the poverty pigs. Like, it's not even worth entertaining at this point. But she has still defamed him. But it's also very, very easily to prove that the things she has said has not affected his reputation at all. Because so many people, as I said earlier, dislike this man because he's just not a good human being. And there are plenty of examples of him doing that. I mean, I could just imagine a judge hearing a clip of this man offering somebody's medical history for $100 and then twisting it into an STD. I could just imagine the judge going, oh yeah, you seem really emotionally disturbed. You are totally a victim in this situation. People don't like him because of him. I don't know how he's gonna convince the judge that it's Hecate. She's the reason why nobody likes him. No, we all know he doesn't do the drogas. He doesn't, grape people. We all know he's not trafficking. We all know that. We all know that. 10 people probably think that. Everybody else knows that. And not one of us goes, yeah, that's why we dislike Hussy. No, we dislike him because he's awful. The stuff he does to people, the way he uses people, his transactional, the way he treats people like transactions, he uses you, he throws you away, he talks to you, he pretends to care, he gathers personal information about you, and the moment it becomes financially beneficial for him to stab you in the back, he will do it. No questions asked. Well, that is why nobody likes you, my friend. But good luck, I guess. They're specifically designed to destroy the plaintiff's reputation, severely impact his mental health, and sever his revenue streams through false accusations or heinous felonies. Again, there's been no revenue stream destruction. He never made $730 in super chats in his last 5 channels in 7 days. If he has, I'd love to see it. But I know we looked at this information during one of his last lawsuits. Nowhere close to this amount. So if she's damaging your reputation, how the fuck are you making more money than you've ever made before? Oh, I'm sorry. Tiny Tim's husband. How is Tiny Tim's husband making more money than he's ever made before if your reputation's so damaged? You should be making even less money than you were making in your last lawsuit. So I don't know how this is going to be. I don't know how he's going to swing this, but whatever. Unlike general reputational harm. Oh yeah, let's not forget the cab video. Exactly. I mean, come on. Unlike general reputational harm, defendant has targeted the technical infrastructure and viability of plaintiff's business. Okay. By systematically labeling plaintiff, so that's the trafficking nonsense, the griping, which again, that is definitely defamation. Defendant intends to trigger terms of service violations to result in the permanent suspension of plaintiff's channels and the severing of his revenue streams. I highlighted this because this was really fucking stupid to put in this complaint. This was probably the stupidest thing I've read in this complaint. You are ban evading. You are not allowed to make money on YouTube, either on your own channel or on another person's channel. It would take Hecate 4 seconds to destroy this narrative. I don't need him to trigger terms of service violations. His presence on YouTube is a terms of service violation. Duh. I had to read that one 10 fucking times. I would have been like, hey, can we take this sentence off out of here? But you know, I think he's just happy to sign anything because it said $50,000 at the end. He was like, woohoo! Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Oh no, I think this is like number 8, 9, or 10, Stephanie. He's had so many fucking channels, I've lost track. On December 22nd, 2025, defendant broadcasted a video to a global audience. And again, this is the part I don't get. When I had to go through a complaint, I had a lot of feedback. And we're just going to leave it at that. I had a lot of feedback. If this were my complaint, I would ask that we amend this language. She broadcasted to a global audience. The fuck you gonna do when it comes out a global audience is 35 to 64 people throughout a 12-hour period? I'm sorry, like a 48-hour period. How do you define global audience? Again, I feel like they're trying to play it up as to the amount, as to the damage she did. This should have been a restraining order. That's it. This could have been a defamation case, sure, but the damages are going to be nonsense. And I think it's going to open him up to a ton of scrutiny, and I think it's going to be very dangerous for him on a financial level. Unless Tiny Tim and his husband surprise me and we find out they're doing things correctly. I don't know. But I feel like she could easily show that he is embellishing. He's not supposed to be on YouTube. He's embellishing her reach. He's embellishing the damages. He's not being honest about the revenue loss. He's bragging about $400 in cash apps. If I were a judge, those would be red flags. So this is repetitive. We're going to skip this. She says stupid shit. It's illegal to film in New York without filming license. He's recording without permission. And then she accused him of using las drogas and individuals, saying the man was drogged. Thanks, Fidel. That is not drunk, that is drogged, which is a stupid thing to say. And concluded the broadcast by declaring Hussy is a goddamn trafficking, predator, evil, POS, a true and accurate copy of this. So there's a video involved. Again, that's definitely defamation. It's the damages that are in question. Furthering this campaign, on December 29, 2025, defendant published another video broadcast falsely accusing plaintiff of trafficking and exploiting individuals for financial gain. Defendant stated, this girl, you need to fucking just, please, this is the time to get a therapist, please. It would probably do you well to walk into a courtroom and say, yeah, my therapist said I'm crazy as hell. The judge would be like, oh, well, then it's not defamation. You're nuts. Case dismissed. He's getting money through memberships to record people against their will. That's where there you go. Trafficking. Because they were using it as something sexual. He was profiting off them. I'm sorry, Hecate. Is the argument that Charlene is finger banging every time he does a live stream through the streets of New York? Is Charlene literally going on a finger banging marathon? Because she's like, oh, Hussy's in public, filming people against their will. This is so sexual and hot. Get a therapist now before you even show up to this courthouse. Because you are not wired correctly. If you honestly believe that streaming in public is filming people against their will for sexual purposes. I need a second. I need a fucking moment. I didn't know any of this shit. I'm reading this afternoon, pissing my fucking britches.
Bing bong.
Oh, God. I want to be... I'm joining this fucking Zoom thing, camera on and everything. And when the judge says, who are you? I'm going to go, hi, Gaining Ground reporter for Pegs TV. Like, I need to be there. I need to be there. I have to see the judge's face. I need to be there. This is just too great. Oh, hold on. On or about November 28th, 2025, Bing Bong, Kate.
Bing bong.
The defendant published written posts publicly targeting plaintiff, calling him a scammer. Fine. Not fine, you know what I mean. Again, plaintiff has never been arrested for any charge for any of these crimes, which again, it's defamatory, the shit she said. Financial fraud. The financial fraud, the one makes me nervous now because of the way he wrote this complaint about how he owns the channel and he's not making money. And then I looked up the cap for benefits and the cap's not very high. And I'm seeing 700. I mean, ooh, Lord Jesus. I hope you got your fucking financials in order, Hussy, because you know Hecate, if she shows up, she's going to come after your PayPals both in and out. She's going to want your bank statement. She's probably going to want Tiny Tim and his husband's. And I think she has a right to that. Because the moment she tells the court that this is not Hussy's channel, this is Tiny Tim's channel, and that they are, what's what I'm looking for? Relevant, but there's another word I'm looking for, not detrimental. They are crucial, I guess, to the process. I guess relevant's the right word. I think she's going to be granted that discovery. Because for him to accurately show financial losses, we need to know how much Tiny Tim and his husband are getting. And how much Tiny Tim and his husband are sending back. And are the tax forms being tax formed? Are the deductions happening? If I were Tiny Tim right now, I'd be fucking questioning my life fucking choices, because this is not just going to be a defamation case. If Hecate plays her cards right, this is going to go into a whole ass financial... And I'm talking play your cards right, Hecate. Not threaten to make... fucking not threaten to make calls to the IRS and stuff. Like, I'm talking like actually, like, if this is done correctly, so many questions are going to come out of this, because if Hussy's claiming financial losses, she's going to have every right to see how much Tiny Tim and the husband are making off of this channel. And if they're making a buttload of money, the question is going to be then, where are the damages? Your employer is choosing not to pay you what you feel you're worth. And then again, that goes into the benefits question. Well, they can't pay me what I'm worth because I'm capped off at whatever for benefits. So where are the damages then? None of it makes fucking sense. None of it makes fucking sense. So stupid. I read this and I thought, oh, Hussy, this is why you need level-headed people around. See, I was a level-headed motherfucker when Hussy and I were like talking on a regular basis. Hussy'd want to say and do stupid shit. Gigi was like, no, you shouldn't do that. The complaints were reviewed. Oh no, that shit. No, that's not a good. Like, I was there to like rein this motherfucker in. Now he's got Charlene and fucking Tiny Tim. Good fucking luck with that. We talked about the swatting again. Again, is this the same report number? It is. Okay. Keep this report number in mind because I don't think this is accurate, but we'll get to that after. 23 confuses me as well. Rather than condemning this act of terror, defendant publicly celebrated and mocked the use of swatting as a weapon. I don't see how that's an issue. Is it fucked up to celebrate someone getting swatted? Absolutely. Is it against the law? No. Is it defamation? No. Is it an issue putting up someone's comment saying, LMAO, Carrie, who swatted you, LMAO? No. What this shows is that Hecate has poor character. I mean, if you think swattings are funny, it shows that you have poor character. You are poor character traits. I don't know how this is going to be used to show a judge or a jury that he's tortured by this. Because you want to know what I'm going to say if I'm a jury member? Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Did she swat you? No. Did she encourage other people to swat you? No. So all she did was laugh at the fact that you were swatted? Yes. What's the fucking problem? I don't understand this at all. Again, these would have been notes that I would have made had Hussy not put a dagger in my back last summer, but here we are today. I got a coffee, 1 second. I would have overhauled this entire complaint for Hussy. This complaint is a fucking mess, but it is what it is. By reveling in life-threatening tactic, defendant intentionally inflicted further psychological trauma upon the plaintiff. That's not going to fly. That's who had recently survived a similar attack. It was 3 years ago. Oh, however long ago it was when... what do we have a date on this? I don't know what the date is. There's no date right here. I don't think that's going to fly. I think that's going to sound ridiculous. She laughed about me getting swatted. That inflicted psychological trauma on me. Especially when she can show that Hussy says and does really fucked up shit to people. You can't claim to be a fragile wallflower when you have the internet footprint that you have online. Now, will that stuff be admissible? I don't know. But if Hecate has a good lawyer, I think they can use it and say, look, this guy is not experiencing psychological anything because look what he does to other people. He's running a game on everybody. That's not me saying he's running a game, but as I'm reading this, as somebody who himself was a victim of the Hussinator less than a year ago, I don't think somebody who can do the things Hussy does to people could ever feel psychological trauma of any sort. I don't think if you can stab your friends in the back and tell them tell people their medical histories, premenopausal whatever, my cancer scare became an STD. I don't think you have a conscience. You don't have ethics. You don't have morals. I don't think you have psychological trauma when you inflict psychological trauma on other people. Remember, when Hussy and I were going through our shit, I was happy to just stay blinded to shit. Hussy was happy to engage. When you are feeling psychologically traumatized, you pull away from shit. You don't actively engage in shit. People would be like, Gigi, I hope you're not going to, but you don't have to worry about it. We had two different objectives here, two different agendas. I just don't think if you're happy to engage with people, you're as traumatized as you want people to believe. They talk about that stupid GoFundMe again. So dumb. The GoFundMe is irrefutable evidence the defendant's intent to inflict harm on him. Oh, this is the part that took me out. Oh, God. The defendant explicitly solicited funds to purchase narcotics to fuel her harassment, stating, need more blow. I can go for a much trade on Primo. Join the good fight by keeping me high on life.
Bing bang, bing bang, bing bang, bing bang.
How quickly can I move to New York, become a judge, and request this case? Because it is going to be absolutely amazing. Defendant further admits, my name is Azria, and I'm toxic as fuck. These Tampa people should be distressed. Dry coochie energy. Where is Damn and Amber? You! Oh, God, I think I have a fever from this shit. In a concerted effort to obstruct justice and impede plaintiff from exercising his legal rights in New York, defendants specifically targeted the plaintiff's New York legal counsel. This part also got me. Utilizing the same GoFundMe campaign under the racist username Azria the Amazon Drains the N-Words. Defendant wrote, end Maxwell's vexatious and frivolous fight. Also get a pic for his bad afro. Why didn't anybody tell me? How the fuck did I miss all of this? Now, I have a question. I don't know all of Hecate's background, and I don't really care. But Hecate is black, or at least half black, correct? Am I wrong on that, or no? Isn't Hecate half black? Or is she... I feel like someone told me this Filipino, maybe? But is there black? I feel like Hecate's half black. Can someone answer that question for me before I continue with what I'm about to say next? Okay, Lisbeth, that's where I'm going with this. I don't know if that racism argument's good. And again, if I were making notes on this, my comment on this would be remove this. Because she is literally black or half black. We are going to be laughed out of fucking court calling a black woman racist for telling a man he's got a bad afro. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking putting this in here. The calls to the attorney, sure. Harassment. They could use that as intimidation and great. The threatening of the threatening of his law license and all of that, sure. She had like 40 people in chat. She's gonna get the fine. Go for it. But you think you're gonna sell a bad afro comment when she literally is black, or at least half black, or I guess Jamaican? But I mean, Jamaicans are black. I mean, for what I know. Where's Yato to come in here and call me racist? Jay, I'm very confused by this comment. Also a good point, somebody messaged me. Psychological damage is rich from the guy who was calling you a pussy, me, because I didn't want to send police to a house with 3 children in it. Don't be a pussy, I think is the wording he used. Or don't be a... Was it pussy? I have to go back and look at the text. So... It's hard to take this man seriously when you know what you know about him, because he didn't care that. And when I said I'm not going to call the cops, I'll just if I handle these idiots, I'll do it legally. Don't be a pussy. And then he literally gave me directions exactly on how to speak to the police, so that it was conveyed correctly, that it needed to be a welfare check. He was trying to coach me to do the dirty work. I didn't do it, but yeah. Psychological, psychological damage my ass. Defendant continues to harass plaintiff's counsel by publishing post-threatening countersuits. I don't think that's illegal, and that's not harassment to say, hey, I'll sue you back, but I don't know. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. Labeling counsel a grifter. Again, she's got to prove grifting on that. Now, Hecate could say her grifting opinion is based on things like the Los Angeles GoFundMe, right? He has since admitted that was a troll. But listen, if you can prove something is an opinion, it's not defamation. If you can really prove something's not making up stories, not making up sex trafficking stories, she could say he had a GoFundMe one time, and he claimed it was to go to Los Angeles. He lied and he said he was there. He pretended he was with his cousin, blah, blah, blah. He admitted years later he never went. It was a troll. But there was money, I believe, donated. That could be her opinion for grifting. Now, again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But the sex trafficking, everything else, that's defamation. The grifting thing, the man sold my medical history, a revised version of it for $25. I mean, would you call that grifting? If you're so desperate for money that you're willing to stab people in the back who helped you immensely when you needed it, If you're willing to sell their private information for $25 or $100 at first, what would you call that? I mean, obviously, lack of character, poor moral ethics. Could you call it grifting? Maybe. If I said this man was a grifter and he wanted to sue me for it, I think I would have a very strong case to say the man literally sold my medical records for $25 fucking dollars. What would you call that, Your Honor? But he's a piece of shit, and a lot of us know that now, which is again why I say this Hecate ruined my reputation thing just wouldn't fly, because she can come up with so much damage and so many names of people who this man has completely turned on and done some of the worst shit to. The taxi, the Uber cab video. He's a horrible human being, and I will stand by that. Sue me for it. You're a horrible fucking human. Because I know you're listening, because you listen to fucking everything. Unless he's live, I don't know. You're a terrible person. And I regret our association on a daily basis. As a direct and proximate, whatever. Okay, so again, this is not true. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's extreme, outrageous, and defamatory conduct, plaintiff has suffered quantifiable financial loss. Not true. Plaintiff is making more money than I've seen him ever make before. And remember, plaintiff is not making it. Plaintiff's friend Tiny Tim and his husband are making it. Where is the loss of paid memberships and streaming revenue? People tell me he gets gifted memberships all the time. He does goals they're reached all the time. Constantly thanks for the CashApp boo-boo. Charlene has sent him large sums of money in front of me. Where is the financial loss? You better pray to God Hecate doesn't show up and start asking for all this discovery, or you are going to be in a world of motherfucking trouble. The psychological effects, I don't buy that at all, because Hussy's not a good person. Anxiety and depression, I mean, maybe he should start treating people nicely and he would have less anxiety and depression. I don't know. He claims he's exasperated by the defendant's celebration of the swatting incident. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that's going to fly. That's a stupid fucking argument. My severity, anxiety, and depression is exasperated because the defendant celebrated my swatting incident. The defendant has the right to do that. The defendant did not swat him. The defendant did not ask people to swat him. You have a right to laugh at somebody getting swatted. It's bullshit. It shows poor fucking quality of character. But it's not fucking defamation or harassment. And it's not going to contribute to severe anxiety and depression. Stupid. It's a stupid statement, and I would have taken it out. Plaintiff is regularly attending therapy sessions to cope with the emotional distress, panic attacks, and fear directly caused by defendant's actions. This is another problematic statement, because the plaintiff has been in therapy for a while now. The plaintiff used this argument on his last lawsuit. So at some point, if I'm a judge, I'm going to say, at what point do you log off? Because if everybody you come into contact with, or you start arguing with, if it always leads to this, if it always leads to you becoming so distressed and emotionally damaged that you need $50,000 to go on living, at what point do you maybe disengage and log the fuck off? So, how many people are we going to use this therapy excuse for now? Because therapy should be teaching him how to deal with all of this and process it and move on. If I'm the therapist and he's coming to me every 6 weeks, well, now this person's harassing me, now that person's right, now this person's emotionally... As a therapist, I'm going to say, you need to log off and disengage. If making money for Tiny Tim and his husband are causing you this much emotional distress, log off. Because clearly, you can't handle the space you're in. Because remember, he's gone back and forth with all these people that he now claims have contributed to his emotional distress and anxiety. As a judge, I'm going to ask, when is enough enough? Again, maybe I should have been a fucking lawyer because I don't understand this complaint at all. So a lot of this is going to be skipped. False facts again. Grifter, rapist, trafficker, scamming, trafficking for financial profit, scammer. I mean, this literally is just repeated over and over again. The statements constitute defamation per se, and remember, defamation per se has a very low damage rate, which I was told, and I said that's fine because I think a lot of you knew anything I partook in, we didn't have the same, we weren't on the same path. We didn't have the same expectations. But defamation per se is not a route you take when you want damages, really. You end up with like $1. It's more for future considerations, for you to say, you know, if anything that was said about you affects like a future job or something, you can say, look, I took this person to court, defamation per se. They were found liable for these false statements. It's more for that. Where you haven't experienced damages, but you're worried about experiencing them later, very unlikely getting damages from a defamation per se case. Again, the plaintiff calls it his trade, business, or profession. Now, I guess he can argue in this statement that being a host on Tiny Tim's husband's channel is his trade business. That's fine, but they don't mention that anywhere in this document. This document needs to be very clear, in my opinion, that the plaintiff does not own the channel. The defendant is an employee of Tiny Tim and Company LLC. And even then, the plaintiff is breaking terms of service because Google is very clear. He cannot even co-host a channel. He cannot host, he cannot co-host, and he cannot own a channel. He should not be monetized in any way, shape, or form. Even if it is Tiny Tim LLC paying him. That's a no-no. And if Hecate shows up in court, that's going to come up. And again, where are the damages? Because you shouldn't even be on YouTube. So how is she damaging your profession? Has anything she said damaged your benefits? No. Well, then she hasn't damaged your livelihood at all. But what do I know? I'm not a moron. They were published with malice. He knows they're fucking with a livelihood. Yada yada yada. Plaintiff suffered. So again, plaintiff suffers damages, including the specific loss of paid subscribers. Mind you, Hussy, as of me loading this playboard, is at 4,720 subscribers. I don't remember the exact number, but during his last lawsuit, Hussy's subscriber count was under 2,000, I believe. I don't remember for sure and how to tell, but I don't know if anybody has screenshots. How have you lost subscribers and streaming revenue if you have gained 3,000 plus subscribers? What the fuck are you thinking? This is all easily provable. Holy fuck. It's like they copied and pasted from the previous... They copied and pasted from the previous suit and didn't actually like, hey, has any of this changed? Can we do a fact check? I would have been like, Hussy, take this out immediately. Look at your numbers. 4,720 subscribers. 512,329 views. $13,055 in Super Chat's total revenue since being monetized. And when did he become monetized? This channel has made $13,000 since becoming monetized. And the majority of that, I would venture, would probably be in the last 6 months because of the carry. By the way, Carrie, told you so. Because of the carry connection. And here's another thing too. According to Playboard, he's averaging 15 videos per week. Where is the emotional trauma? That's weekdays, 3 videos a weekday. That's 2 videos every day, including weekends. Remember when I was not feeling it, guys? Even now with the Dexter stuff, what do? I don't stream. And I feel bad because I know, like, you know, all weekend long I kept pushing the streams out because I was like, you know what? I'm not in the mental space to entertain Zachary Michael. I want to enjoy my weekend. That's what people who are genuinely affected by the negativity in the space, that's what they do. 15 videos a week. If I'm a judge, I'm going to ask, where's your psychological trauma here? How the fuck are you doing this 15 times a week? So you're unemployed because you're blind, allegedly. That's what he says. He's not fully blind. He's legally blind, excuse me. And I say allegedly because I've never seen legal documentation. I have no reason to think he's not, but I'm using the word allegedly. You're unemployed. You claim you can't work because you're legally blind, but you can stream 15 times a week. You can read chats. You can read super chats. You can read screenshots on your phone. You can make $13,000. You're making probably 12,000 more than you were making a year ago. Where is the damage? So they want no less than $50,000 in damages. Girl, let me tell you, I had to get up and I had to go eat some almonds. When I got to this part, when I was redacting, I said, this is too much. I need sustenance. I went up, I got a handful of Blue Diamonds, lightly salted almonds, and I took a little handful of them, and I was like, I'm going to pass out from the stupidity I'm seeing here. $50,000 in damage. For damages for what? You've never even made $50,000. Do we not know how damages work? Do we not know how damages work? You are never going to be able to show any judge that because of Hecate streaming to 40 people, that you have lost $50,000. What a fucking waste of time. Oh my God. So again, this is all repeated stuff. Campaigns of terror, swatting, she laughed. Rather than condemning the violence, she laughed at it, because I don't know why they think Hecate should condemn the violence. I mean, she should condemn the swatting, because I think it's fucking stupid to swat people, but Hecate thought it was funny. That says more about her than me. But again, is it against the law? Absolutely not. Let's break Hussy. I don't think that's defamation. There's so many repeated stuff. I was very confused. Trafficker, rapist, trafficker. So I'm speeding through this because there's a lot of shit here that we've already talked about. So his injuries now include post-traumatic stress. He fears for his life persistently. Is persistently a word? Persistent fear for his life and safety. An inability to feel secure in his home following the police raid. Here's a problem with that statement. When I read this, I was like, wait a minute. During the swatting in 2023, him and Hecate were cool, were they not? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have a bad recollection of things. Maybe I've got the early onset. Sometimes I fucking feel I do. If he was cool with Hecate in the summer of 2023, he can't put this on her. If he has a persistent fear for his life and safety because of the police raid, that needs to be taken up with whoever made that phone call. Her laughing about it, I'm sorry, is not post-traumatic stress worthy. And frankly, it's fucking insulting. The SWAT thing, absolutely. Swatting is scary, it's terrible, and it can lead to people being unalived. And as much as this man gets on my damn nerves, he was swatted, and it was terrible. And people could say it wasn't swatted all the... police coming to your house for a welfare check, that's not a swatting. That's a welfare check. Them going to his house and saying, we heard you have a boom boom and you got a hostage, that's swatting. Because they could have came guns drawn and they could have seriously done something to him. They could have seen him with his wig thinking, oh, he crazy as hell. Pew, pew. That would have been the end of it. But there's no way in hell he's going to convince anybody that her laughing about it is causing post-traumatic stress, especially if she can prove that they were cool at the time. It doesn't make sense. No, we're not reading Chacha's complaint. I don't want to invite his fucking dark-sided energy in right now. I'm fucking over it. And I'm sure it's the same. I didn't even read it. I don't want to read it. I'm sure it's a lot of the same shit. Professional impairment. The inability to work effectively as an online content creator due to the constant anxiety that any live stream could trigger another attack. What are you talking about? 15 a week. Averaging 2 a day. Professional YouTubers with millions of subscribers don't even stream this much. They don't even upload this much. You're uploading more now than you were in your last lawsuit. So how are you going to sell this to anybody? That you can't work as effectively. You're streaming more, uploading, making more money than you've had before. You're getting memberships. You got Carrie's Pay Pigs. Your subscriber count jumped by the thousands. How the fuck are you going to sell that because of Hecate, you can't work effectively anymore? You still can't make screenshots. You still don't know how to edit a fucking video if you liked it better. There has never been effectiveness in your content. It's been literally going live and asking people for money. And not only are you still doing that, you're doing it more, and you're getting more than you ever have. Again, good luck with that one when Hecate pulls out those fucking numbers. Fucking stupid. Medical necessity. The need for ongoing therapy and medical treatment to cope with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and nightmares directly resulting from the defendant's campaign. Sure. I mean, good luck, I guess. Again, at some point, when a judge sees all of these lawsuits, the judge is going to ask, why are you still doing this? Like, yeah, sure, you have a right to do it. I agree. He's got a right to stream. But he's not an innocent fucking wallflower. There's plenty of proof that every single person he has sued, he has gone toe-to-toe with. That's just not the behavior of somebody who is emotionally damaged. It's just not. When you are psychologically warfared by somebody, you shut the fuck up. And you do everything in your power to ignore them. And we remember the streams. He went after Hecate a lot. They went back and forth a lot. Now to sit there and say, I'm emotionally damaged. You weren't when you were profiting off of it. When you were getting views because of it. Again, good luck. $50,000 again. Same shit again. Malevolence, explicit, documented. I don't know why this is repeated over. So I don't know if they're asking for $150,000 because they repeat everything 3 times. The racially offensive thing kills me because like I said, she's half black. I think it's Filipino and black. Good luck with that racially shit. That's gonna make you look so stupid. This one again. What a stupid statement to put in here. Defendant's actions were designed to trigger algorithmic deplatforming and sever plaintiff's income streams. Hussy. Does Maxwell and whoever wrote this know that A, you don't own that channel, and B, you are breaking terms of service by just existing on that channel? Do they know that? Or are they going to be embarrassed if that comes out in court? Make sure they know that. You are breaking terms of service by even existing. You should be shutting the fuck up, enjoying all of your newfound fame and money, and ignoring her till she goes away. This was not a fucking smart decision on your behalf. Because this is not something you want to go in front of a judge, because when the judge finds out you don't even belong on YouTube, they're going to be like, okay, so what's the fucking problem here? Again, I could be wrong. I'm not a judge. We'll see. Blah, blah, blah. Fabricates a criminal profile. And again, I'm not arguing that she hasn't defamed him, because she has defamed him. I just don't think he's going to be able to prove any kind of damages because he's making more now than ever. And again, it's not him making it. It's Tiny Tim, LLC. Blah, blah, blah. Predator, blah, blah, blah. Grifting. Sounds like rooming. The P word again, not the pedo, the other one. Grifter. Defendant's sole motivation was to inflict harm upon plaintiff without any excuse or justification. Treats my ass. That's going to the Dexter Veterinary Fund. Thank you so much. Street money for Dexter and Daisy. Dexter's the strong little doggo. He really is. But that's not actually, that's going to fucking the Dexter vet bill. I forgot to heart the other stupid charts, but thank you, everybody. Defendant's sole motivation was to inflict harm upon the plaintiff. I mean, to me, the defendant's sole motivation is that she's cuckoo for motherfucking Cocoa Puffs. I don't know if Cray Cray is motivation. I don't know if she's motivated to inflict harm on people. I believe she actually believes the shit that comes out of her fucking mouth. I do. That's why I'm like, if I were her, I would invest in a therapy at this point, and I would listen, be like, therapy, please, therapy. Can you like assess me? And then I'd walk into the court and say, hi, Your Honor, not guilty by reason of insanity. That's what I'd fucking do if I were her. The defendant continued this campaign even knowing of the police raids. That's got nothing to do with her, and publicly mocked victims of swatting. Carrie can sue her. It's got nothing to do with you. Plaintiff has suffered specific quantifiable financial loss. I read that. I said, oh, God. Quantifiable? Quantifiable? Hussy, go to playboard.co and type in loudmouth Hussy in the search box. You're quantifiably making more. And again, if your argument's going to be, I'm not making it, Tiny Tim LLC is making it, great. You better make sure all your ducks are in a row, and they better have been in a row since day one, because if they catch you now moving money around, the argument's going to be you're purposely trying to deceive the courts. You better hope and pray to God that since the day you became monetized, all of this shit was in order. All of this shit was in order. You've never received more money than what you make of benefits. You better make sure your taxes from 2025 for the months you were monetized were filed correctly. You better make sure that your new bosses over in Ireland gave you the proper tax forms. Because if they didn't, Jesus, take the wheel. Because I don't see quantifiable loss of shit. I see you doing better than you ever have before. Good luck, though. Good luck. He is getting the best numbers he's ever had. Maybe not as good as when he was Miss Glory Glory in the very beginning, but better than he has in the last like 6 channels. And he wants $50,000 again. So they want $50,000 compensatory damages. Then he wants punitive damages on top of that. And then they want an injunction. She's got to shut the fuck up. This is what they should have been going for all along. Shutting the fuck up, stop harassing and threatening the plaintiff, the plaintiff's counsel, etc. Stop calling them all these names. Delete all videos about her, which I'm pretty sure she already did, about him. I thought she did that already. To remove the GoFundMe page, and then cease and desist from publicly disclosing, publishing, or distributing any docs information. So, Hussy signed this on April 7th. Hussy, you... Yeah. I probably would not have signed that. I would have made some changes to it. But again, when I did this with Hussy, I had lots of notes. And those notes went back to the paralegal. And changes were made. Like, this is not accurate. This is an incorrect statement. I think Hussy just was like, $50,000 sold. And he put his name on it. I hope he is on the up and up with everything. So now let's read the exhibits, please. We're going to switch over to that. Okay. So, provided with the documentation, I got my GG glasses on. I don't think I need them for the screen, though. So I'm going to put them back on my shirt. Oh, the streams are still uploaded, Entourage? I thought she took them down. I don't know why. I could have swore her channel was cleaned out. Okay, I stand corrected then. So, they provided streams and tweets of things, and a lot of this was on repeat. I didn't understand why the same tweet was listed multiple times, but so here's some of the, when you read the complaint, there are exhibits mentioned. So exhibit A is a video that was uploaded to some website. So she calls him an effing rapist. That's so stupid to do, Hecate, because that is defamation. It's illegal to film in New York bars without filming license. That's not true. Is that defamation? I don't know. That could just be ignorance of the law. She could say, well, I thought it was illegal. I used the wrong word, prohibited. Who knows? I would call him an effing rapist. Really fucking stupid because, listen, Hussy's an asshole. He's a backstabber. He is scum. He is no morals, no ethics. But he's never been accused of raping anybody. Like, that's crazy. Like let's call Hussy for what Hussy is. To call him that is so fucking out of pocket. No matter how much you can't stand Hussy. Guilty. You don't do that. That's stupid. And he is a god dang... I forgot what word is this. Hold on. Oh, trafficking, pred, piece of poopies, and there's zero truth in him. Defendant repeatedly calls him a groom, or something rhymes with like dog grooming, something, trafficker, something, whatever. Okay. Oh, I gotta update this again to stupid continuous scroll 1 page. Okay, great. Exhibit C, defamatory publications labeling him a scammer. Can someone please, this is just a tweet, can someone please tell that creep who gets removed from bars for recording without permission that Maxwell cannot practice in Canada, and it doesn't matter what terms Hussy searches in Google, that won't change. And she's right, he can practice in Canada. But again, there is a Hail Mary that some lawyers do where there's this new thing, because the internet's new. It's a wild west out there, and they feel that they can that they can file in the state you live in, because since the accusations are made online, they can. And again, when I was doing attorney consultations at one point, the attorney said it's a Hail Mary. He knew of somebody who was working with an attorney in Alabama who was trying to sue somebody in California for defamation online, and the attorney filed in Alabama, and it was rejected. the attorney said that the judge said that you need to go file in California, but he's also seen where it works in other cases. So I don't know how New York is going to be, but technically, to get a slam dunk filing to go through, you should be filing in the defendant's jurisdiction. But like the attorney told me, in some instances, it can happen. So we'll see what happens when this gets to the courts and see if there's a court dates and stuff. It's going to get reviewed and decisions are going to be made. Your lawyer can file suit in New York, but I'm not an American resident, and your lawsuit will mean shite in New York. Jurisdiction cannot be enforced regard if a court doesn't have jurisdiction over the matter of your fact. So I don't know how that's going to work. If they, let's say it goes forward and she doesn't show up and she loses by default, I don't know what happens next. Can you garnish somebody in another country? I don't know. Because ideally, ideally, what he should care more about is the injunction, because that's shit that I think people who are actually being psychologically tortured should care more about. They shouldn't be putting dollar signs to tweets and streams and bragging about, let them keep going. Every time they go, GG, this will be another $1,000. To me, that's not emotional damage. That's you're selling a fucking story to the courts to make a quick buck. I would be happy if I were him with the injunction, but I think we all know at this point that's not going to be enough. He's going to sue. She says she's going to sue Hussy for defamation because nothing about me is low budget. I'm middle-aged. Bitch, you're in your 40s. You're middle-aged like me. Is she even in her 40s? While you run around with $20 wigs and cheap matte lipstick, giddy over men in the early 20s, at your big old age, your lips look like asphalt. Can't talk about that. I got the dry ass lips. Thank you for my medications. And your cheeks look like drooping potholes that catch the rain. I can't stand the rain. Hussy, shut up. I didn't defame you. I'm literally covering your own recorded behavior. You couldn't give it. No, you did defame him. Because there's a lot of stuff you could cover Hussy for. There's a lot of shit you could cover Hussy for. That's a great fucking question. Lara's okay. We'll get to that in a second. I didn't think about that. There's a lot of stuff you can say about Hussy. The stuff you say, Hecate, is so fucking stupid. The rapist, the trafficking, and everything else, like, that's just stupid. And the fact that you still don't see that and are going to argue that it's not, I don't know what to tell you. Great question. Great question. So Lara is okay asks, if he filed in New York, does this mean that he didn't need the GoFundMe for an international lawsuit? So Hussy had a GoFundMe where Hussy said, I need money to give to Maxwell to sue Hecate. But the lawsuit is filed in New York, so what was the international GoFundMe money for? Good question, Lara's okay. Good question indeed. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Okay. Okay. This is the part I don't get. I was so excited to get to this report. I was so excited because I was like, finally. Because I'd been telling Hussy forever, you need to go get the police report of the swatting to prove that you were swatted, because whoever called it in and said, hey, this ogre in a wig has a hostage in a boom boom, there would have been a police report filed for that. I said, go to the precinct and get it. So I get to this and I think, oh, finally, we get to, I'm going to see it written down. Call received, swatting, boom, boom, hostage. Then I start reading it, and I go, wait, what the fuck is this? This is not the report detailing the swatting incident. This is the report he made saying, hey, I was swatted and I know who did it. I'm reading this, and I'm looking for the description. I'm looking to see the summary of the call. And instead I see PL240 riot. And what PL240 riot says... I just had it on my screen. The charge... the offense is PL240 riot, which is offenses against public order, including riot, which involves tumultuous, violent conduct by multiple people, often causing damage or alarms. This is him going to the police report and saying, hi, I know who swatted me. I want to file a police report against them. This is not the detailed report of the swatting incident. This is Hussy telling the police, I know who swatted me and I want to file a formal complaint. I feel that this is a misrepresentation of the evidence. What I don't understand is why he hasn't gone and gotten the actual report where it says, "Hi, this big ass guy in a wig has a hostage and a boom boom. You need to go there right now." Where is that report? And I keep telling them there should be a report of that, because every time you call the precinct or 911, now I think he said because it was made through 911, there wouldn't be a report maybe, but I don't know. Like, I feel like when 911 sends it to the regional police, you would think there would be some record of it, no? So I feel like this is false fucking advertising, and I was let the fuck down. I don't know what any of this has to do with Azria. Good, thank you. I don't know what this has to do with Hecate. This is his report saying, "Hi, Tragic swatted me." This does not prove he was swatted. Again, I believe he was swatted based on what I heard in that video, the banging on the door, and what he told me happened. But this is not the swatting report. This is Hussy's theory that he knows who swatted him. And that the narrative was that the above perp, which is Tragic, had intent to annoy and harass him by sending him... And again, read this. He had intent to annoy and harass him by sending him online messages. No injury was sustained. So, not only is this not the swatting incident report, this is not even the report where he's accusing Tragic of swatting him. This is the police report he filed, claiming Tragic is harassing him online. This evidence is a whole fucking lie. This is a complete fucking lie. Did you guys actually read this when you submitted it as evidence? Hello? Hello? Aggravated harassment misdemeanor. Hello? Hello? Help me. Someone's sending me threatening messages. Hello? What? Where is the swatting? This whole report is a fucking lie. This whole report is not what you claim it to be. And make sure it's the right number. Let me look again. 202300. Yeah, this 3476. Girl. Again, had I still been around, I would have looked at this and said, "Oh, Hussy, this is, you're misrepresenting what this is. This is literally you saying Tragic harasses me, help." Why is this in Hecate's evidence? Why is... You don't even mention the word swats in this. You don't even say Tragic swatted you. You say Tragic is annoying and harassing you by sending you online messages. Where is the swatting reference? So you think that you're going to hold Hecate responsible for Tragic sending you messages? Hussy, what the fuck were you thinking with this? So dumb. So fucking dumb. Video of her mocking a swatting victim. Again, this is embarrassing, Hussy. I cannot believe you included this as evidence. I would literally laugh you out of court. And if I had looked at this, I would have said, "Hussy, please remove this. This is so fucking embarrassing. This is so fucking embarrassing." She put a comment up and she laughed at somebody getting swatted. Not even you. Carrie, who swatted you? Are you going to go in there and say you're becoming a woman named Carrie? Dumb. Hecate, I mean, I hate saying this Hecate, but Hecate, I kind of hope you show up for this, because as much as you get on my damn nerves, oh my god, this is all so fucking stupid. This is all absolute bullshit and horseshit. Here's the GoFundMe. Again, help break him. But it says right here she wants blow. So I don't know how serious a judge is going to take this, but I guess that could be used for the injunction, I guess. For harassment, I don't know. This is the legal counsel harassment. This tweet was in here 3 times. I don't know why. But we read this tweet already once. Didn't you collect donations for LA? And then for some reason they posted again. And then they posted again. I don't know what it is, but it's just the evidence is weird. It's posted over and over again. And this is his proof that he sent $200 to Robert for Canada. But I don't know what the Canada piece is for, because unless you have to pay to have her served physically, maybe, in Canada. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the money went to have her physically served in Canada. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, God. And, of course, Drunk Shrek has to get involved with her legal fucking expertise. This woman's hate boners for me and Hussy on behalf of two fucking idiots will never cease to fucking amaze me. You would think this woman would be busy fucking trying to break somebody's marriage, but here she is, still fucking obsessed with what she was the other day. The other day she said, "Who wants a good drunk Shrek laugh while we're here?" Somebody sends me a message. Goes, Gigi, you implied Maxwell's gay. I said, what? I did what? I implied. What are you talking about? Drunk Shrek is in Hecate's stream, and she posted a clip claiming that you are insinuating that Maxwell was a homosexual man. I said, could you please send me this fucking clip?
'Cause I'm a homosexual man.
So I get the link and I click on it. I'm talking about Cha-Cha. I don't know. Like, maybe you shouldn't drink in legal, Drunk Shrek. Maybe you should just stick to what you do best, which is sending your tatas to married men. Okay, cool. Nobody cares. Okay, so it's the same fucking tweet over and over again. Like, if I'm the judge, I'm gonna be like, why is this submitted 5 fucking times? I don't understand. This whole thing to me is a disaster, and I know it. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but oh, I'm super fucking excited to find out. Super excited to find out. I can't believe I did this in under 2 hours. Oh God, do you ever turn your head and you feel like your nerve is about to break your brain in half? That just happened to me. God, I think Hussy's putting a hex on me from New York. Son of a bitch. So that's that. That is, there's other documents that were uploaded, but I don't really care about fees or something. I don't really care about any of that. So that's it. That's the complaint. I think it's a huge fucking mistake. I think that he is going to be in for a rude awakening if she does show up to court. If she comes prepared, it doesn't come up talking about blow and stuff. If she does get an attorney and she shows up to court, I think this is going to spiral. And if I were Tiny Tim and I was Tiny Tim's husband, I would be very concerned at the prospect of being dragged into this nonsense because I think that she has a very solid reason for wanting to see their financials now because they own the channel. And David, like an idiot, first he told the world that his husband owns the channel. He tried blaming me for it, but nobody on fucking Twitter was buying it because everybody saw him do it. And apparently, the husband, and I'm not confirming or denying the docs, but allegedly, Hecate was live the other day, and somebody in the Hecate crew, COVID-19's crew, was like, hey, when you click on Hussy's name on one of his GoFundMes, it takes you to a name I don't recognize. And they started digging, and they believe that person is David's husband. David, like the moron he is, apparently the next day goes into Hussy's chat and goes, they doxed my husband last night. They're pieces of crap. And I'm like, oh my God, you are so stupid. I can't. So now that Hecate knows that for a fact, don't be shocked if Hecate wants to see your financials, Tiny. You better call your husband, better get your husband online too and say, hey, you know how you volunteered to help my out-of-pocket, emotionally unstable friend in New York make money? I got some bad news for you. We might be subpoenaed in a case that, more bad news for you, might lead to money questions, and even more bad news for you, might lead to American tax fraud implications. Let's hope not. I hope you and your husband have been paying Hussy a fair wage, not too much, and I hope you've been keeping track of all the PayPals coming in. I hope you've been properly separating them. I hope you've been keeping your fair share. I hope you haven't been sending Hussy back more than what he's allowed to make every month. Like, hopefully it's all on the up and up. Because if Hecate does show up, and she shows up with a lawyer, Dios mío. Let's end the poll. Who is gonna win? 54% says Hecate, 46% says Hussy. Ooh, we're kind of divided on that one. We'll see what happens, I guess. You!
Bing bong!
I'm fucking tired. Well, this was fun. Thank you for coming. Oh, it's out of sync with my face? Really? Is it still out of sync? Or is that fresh garbage? It shouldn't be. I haven't changed anything, motherfuckers. Kate, imagine. Oh, and let me tell you, you dolts. You dolts better not start moving money now. If I'm wrong, if I'm right about any of it, you bet, because you better Google what happens if I start moving funds after filing a lawsuit. Oh, I'm in sync. Okay, great. You better start Googling, because I already Googled. Let me tell you, it's not good news. What happens if a plaintiff in a case starts moving funds after a lawsuit has been filed? Do your research, do your due diligence, because I feel like I helped both parties tonight. I feel like I gave Hecate a lot to think about. I gave Hussy a lot to worry about and a lot of ducks to put in his row. And we'll see what happens next. So, oh, your TV's broken, Fresh Garbage. You're a fucking mess. All right, everybody. Fresh Garbage, you going live tonight? Is anybody going live? Because now I'm hyped up and I feel like I need to listen to somebody for a little bit before I go to bed. I'm going to let my dogs out. I'm going to eat some almonds. Little salted almonds. Get a little bit of carbohydrates and salties. And then I'm not going to stream tomorrow because tomorrow's bowling day. Thursday, I think I'm going to do the members only stream for fruit flies and diet fruit flies. So that'll be fun. And Hecate won't need a passport. It's probably going to be all on Zoom. So technically, Hecate and her lawyer probably could appear online if she gets a lawyer. Can appear on Zoom from their the comfort of their homes over in Canada. So I don't know. Like I question how much Maxwell knows about Hussy's current arrangement with Tiny Tim LLC. I question how much. It'll probably be Zoom. I think that's what they're going to try for. I question how much Maxwell actually knows because I feel like that's going to cause a lot of headaches. When that comes out, it's going to cause a lot of hate. And Hussy's so stupid. The greed is beyond stupidity. You're doing good on YouTube. Thank you, Carrie and Shani and Rev. Just go for the restraining order. You're not going to make 50, 100. You're not going to make that much money off of this because Hecate's got enough to show you're full of shit. Not only are you going to make enough much money, you've opened yourself to so much to so much scrutiny on financial scrutiny. And for somebody who's collecting benefits, I think the last thing you want is the state of New York knowing how much you're making on a platform that you shouldn't even be making money on. How stupid. How absolutely stupid. But restraining order wouldn't be good enough. No. We got to make as much money as possible. So we'll see what happens. Is Fresh Garbage going live? Garbage, go live. Rampage, go live. Somebody go live for a little bit. Keldosh, go live. Belinda, go live from Walmart. My butt hurts from sitting in the seats long. I'm going to go. I don't have any outro yet for this, so we're going to go straight to... Oh, FG said no. What did she say? Oh, Keldo. Okay, well, okay, somebody's going live. I'll listen while I go to bed. So I'm gonna go right to black. Thank you for spending the last 2 hours with me. I'll see you members most likely Thursday for members only chat. If you haven't joined, click the link in the description down below. Thank you to everybody who helped donate to the Dexter Vet Fund. I'm gonna be using all my YouTube money to be throwing money at the Dexter Vet Fund because holy shit, Dexter, you're a fucking mess. I love you, but holy shit, you're a fucking mess. And that's it. So thank you for the donations. Moz, thanks for modding. Thanks to the new members. And I'll see you guys on Thursday and then live again maybe, I don't know, Friday. We'll see what we're going to talk about. Have a good night and day, everybody. I'll see you guys later. Bye.